Hey, good morning, Saturday morning, live from Homestead, Florida and Sacramento, California. Brian Cummings, our Executive Director of Coaching and Training, is on the road, and we're going to talk about scaling a business today. Hey, Brian, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Kurt. Glad to be here.
All right, and you are in Sacramento, right?
I surely am. That's not
Wow,
too far from my home. I live up in Redding.
okay.
So we're down here for, you going to talk about that a little bit?
Oh, the e-commerce masters intensive.
Hmm.
Sweet. Yeah, yeah. We could talk about that. We talk about scaling a business because that's what you're doing with one of our clients today is coming alongside them and really helping them one-on-one take their business scaling in a really, really big way. Hey, Lisa. Hi, David. Hi, Midday. Awesome, awesome. Okay. Well, hey, why don't you show if you, unless you're not equipped to do this, show the picture of the 15th floor window.
Oh, yeah. You can see out there, they've got the sun
Oh,
coming
look
in.
at that sun.
Curtains back a little
You
bit.
you got a glow. Oh, that's awesome. Love
Yeah.
it. Love it.
There's
No.
the Sacramento River way in the distance.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, sweet. Sweet, sweet. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started here, guys. Welcome, everybody. We just welcome you to the Saturday Morning Live as people are rolling in. If you got questions, feel free to ask them in the panel. Peter, all the way from UK. He's in the boot camp right now. Hey, Peter. Glad for you to join us. Not at a decent time for you, also. Sweet. So, hey guys, this is Saturday Morning Live, and we like to bring just some valuable training to those in the e-commerce world. And one of the things I know that people really want and need to do is to scale their business. But first of all, I just want to welcome all the new members as people roll into the e-commerce business school. And you know what? I'm even including the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that come into the e-commerce business school with our free membership and our free training and our free camaraderie. And if you're interested in that, it's not the highlighted link today, but you can go to www.joinebs, Echo Bravo Sam, joinebs.com, and become a free member. You don't have to pay to be a member of our school and community, and we'd love to have you along the way. Hey, Kathy. Kathy received her dog tags. Oh, Kathy, please, please, please take a picture of you of the dog tags or something and post it. You're welcome. That's sweet. What Kathy's talking about there is another thing that our members have access to is called a boot camp. And graduates, awesome graduates like Kathy, that graduate from our accountability boot camp actually get personalized dog tags showing that they graduated. So that's sweet, Kathy. Yeah, please take a picture of that. That would be awesome. Okay, Judah says happy Saturday, Brian and Kurt. Hey, good morning, Edward. Good morning, Dana. Good morning, Lucinda. I'll try to keep an eye on that as we move along. Good morning, Beth. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Okay, well, hey, most of you know who this guy is, but I'm going to give a quick introduction anyway, just in case we have so many new members. Brian Cummings is our Executive Director of Training and Coaching. I have some slides here, Brian, of you with Terry, the family on the beach, you zip lining. Where were you ziplining, by the way, in that picture? I know you know which one I'm talking about.
That one's in Puerto Rico.
Ah, sweet, sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. I zip lined in the Philippines, and you know when you do that overseas or in other countries, it's not quite as safe as the United States because they don't have lawyers
It
going.
makes it more thrilling.
Yeah, there you
That's what we're
go.
paying for.
You got a point
Yeah.
there. All right. Well, Brian, his background is a neuromuscular therapist, and then the state changed the laws. He went into first eBay and then e-commerce and found initially book flipping on Amazon and been a six-figure earner ever since for many, many, many years now. This is a picture of you in front of your RV and how you go about that. And then you created a system called the Book Flipping Profit System for us here at the E-commerce Business School, of which I and my wife partake, and it was just been awesome, awesome. And you know, one of your taglines, if you will, is you're living the life you've always dreamed of, and we love that, Brian. And Ann has a picture here of working with Brian. It's been a complete pleasure with you two having some kind of grin on your face. I'm not sure what
I
all
know that
that's.
picture. I can't see the slides, so when
Yeah.
Kurt's talking about them, I can't see them. You guys can, but I know that picture.
Yeah, I don't know what was in that Sprite bottle, but you two look like you're having fun. Anyway,
We were. It was at a conference too. It was at one of our workshops.
okay, yeah,
It
well,
was a great
you're,
time.
You're quite traveled, Brian, and it has been fun. A complete pleasure working with you and all of that. And before we get into the training today of scaling a business, that's really why you're there in Sacramento. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what that's about before we go into some training at a more elementary level for the people on the call today?
I was holding up this book here. It's for our e-commerce masters intensive members. I don't think you can see it very well, but it's filled with SOPs, standard operating procedures, for conducting a print-on-demand business on Amazon. So it has all the steps, the procedures as it is, from creating your product, getting it listed, getting it advertised, sold, getting your products shipped to your customers, all of that. And we're leading Dr. Josie Shepard and I are here in Sacramento to lead 2 members today, and 2 other members tomorrow through all of these processes, step by step by step by step by step. So they understand how to do it. And it's such a way that they can teach somebody else, like their employee, like a virtual assistant, to do all these steps as well.
That is great. And it's a great segue, Brian, into the first thing I want to talk about, and that is systems. But let me welcome everybody here. We've got a ton of people rolling in. Good morning, Rill. Good morning, Diana. Good morning, Candida. Good morning, Susan. Hey, if you have any questions as we move along, please feel free, guys, to ask those questions. You got an expert here with you to answer those questions. And that was a good segue, Brian, what you're doing with the intensive program. And if we could maybe boil it down to the more new people, secrets to making a big transition from cash flow course taker to e-commerce entrepreneur. And I made up an acrostic scale with the first one, systems. And you mentioned systems there. Could you describe, maybe in a more kind of layman's term, if you will, what systems are, and maybe some early systems people could put in if they're just getting started, say with Shop Your Way to Wealth or local retail arbitrage or book flipping or something like that? Tell us about systems and why that's important for scale.
Sure. A system is just something you repeat over and over again that achieves a desired goal. So when I think about systems for book flipping, for instance, or even Shop Your Way to Wealth, one of the things that you have to do is send your products into Amazon through something called a shipping plan, where then Amazon receives it and goes up for sale. So you have to put your items for sale into that shipping plan in a systematic fashion and then have it sent off. And if you're going to have an employee do this, then you certainly have to write that down, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and now the products are in the shipping plan and off their way to Amazon. Just a simple way to get things done on a predictable basis.
So you scaled your book flipping business before you taught us, even where you had an employee and there was just a flow, so that you were able to step into more of the, I guess, important aspects of the business and have a help for those that work. Could you describe that maybe a little bit more detail?
You mean when I did hire, or
Yeah,
prior to that?
how you scaled early on. Now, we know you and Josie have highly scaled and automated and powerful businesses now. I guess where I'm going is, how can we help? How can you help give some insight to that person that's just getting going, getting some cash flow going, so that from the very beginning they can think, I wonder how I can take this further through a system?
Sure. I was looking at all the things that I did. Remember, all the processes from start to finish to get my product, to sell, and deliver to the customer. So as I had to do all of those myself, I'm the only person doing it, I started to look at which ones were the easiest ones for somebody else to do, and then which ones that if I were able to do more of, if I could do it more frequently, I would be making more money. So with sourcing products for Amazon, or selling products on Amazon, the more you source, the more money you make. The more products you get and send into Amazon, the more, of course, your profit's going to be. So I started looking at, well, how do I spend my time doing more sourcing? And what other things could I let go to somebody else? Obviously, creating those shipping plans, you're not making money there. You're making money in the sourcing of finding products. So that's where I really started to see, where's my bottleneck? What could I give off to somebody else? What other tasks could I give to somebody else so that I could spend the time doing the valuable process of sourcing products?
Awesome. And so then when you did write it down, you documented, you were just able to say, hey, you over there do this, 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 this. So the system was in place for you able to make that handoff. So,
That's right.
right. Yep. And now, obviously, you have it at a very high level for the students you have this weekend, but that's a good way for a lot of people to start. That's how I did it too, and that's partly how Kate got involved with this. Is I developed that system that you showed us and curtailed it a little bit to my needs, and then she started to get involved, and lo and behold, she loved it and ended up selling literally $300,000 worth of books. So it was a lot of fun. Hey, David, good morning. David got his dog tags. David, take a picture of your dog tags and put them on there so people can see what it is. Kathy joined us. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Carol. Hi, Ken. Hi, Mary. Hi, Carla. Hi, Colleen. Hi, Jeannie. Anyway, lots of people rolling in. Okay,
Good
Brian.
morning, everybody.
Yeah. Hey, they want to hear from you, a guy that's done it, and you're there with Dr. Josie Shepard this week in Sacramento, teaching some of our highest level students. But the reason I bring up Dr. Josie right now, I just went to the next slide, Brian. Camaraderie. How does camaraderie help when you're trying to scale a business?
Well, they say two heads are better than one, right? It's powerful to get somebody else on your team or on your side. Now, Dr. Josie Shepard, we met through an online community, just like the e-commerce business school group. We met on a group like that, kind of connected, started sharing stories. She was doing a lot of wholesale. I was too. We agreed to meet at a trade show, and then we started sharing the creation of systems in our own business. We're both doing the same thing, but doing it in different ways. Why not share that? And by both of us putting our heads together, we were able to improve our businesses.
And Brian, one of the ways that those camaraderie come into, I guess, a great potential to achieve that is not just online, but live events too. Can you share a little bit? I mean, we do lots of live events, how that increases the opportunity for those kind of connections.
Yeah, that's where you meet people. I mean, you can meet people online, but when you do live events, face-to-face kinds of things, and you're sitting next to somebody, rubbing shoulders with them, you sure learn a lot from each other. And then sometimes you get inspired to do even more. Kate Curtis, our coaches, Kate Curtis and Sarah Sotis, that's a perfect example. They met at an event, there were students there, they started, building their camaraderie, and now they're joining business together.
Yep. Hey, welcome Roxanne, welcome Betty. Well, let's go to the next tip, if you will, to really scale a business. So I'm going to the slide that says accountability. You said two heads are better than one. I know a lot of these kind of overlap and wrap together, but as you're scaling your business, there's tracking, there's data, there's procedures, but then you kind of gotta keep track of all that and be accountable to yourself, to Amazon, to others. Can you share more how, and maybe give an example or two, how accountability helps if you're wanting to take your business? Say someone's out there right now, they're just starting in local retail arbitrage, maybe they're generating $500,000 in sales and they want to double that, over the next weeks or months. So what are some things that they could do in terms of accountability to help that process?
Certainly. There's something called KPIs, key performance indicators, and they're just a measurement of your performance with any particular process in your business. So if the process is to get products sent into Amazon or to source products for Amazon, then a key performance indicator might be, I'm going to send in 100 products a week. So my goal with book flipping was always to have at least $5,000 a month of net income. I knew that meant sending in about 300 books a week, about 1,200 books a month. That was a key performance indicator. We had it on a dry erase board. There's the number of books that we're sending in week by week by week. That's accountability.
So you stayed accountability to yourself and your goals, and if you were dropping low or getting lazy, it was a way that you were able to kick yourself in the butt, right?
Yeah. And, I wasn't the one that was having to write that down. Candy, my book shipper, did that for us. But nevertheless, I would see it on the board and I would know if we were falling behind. Also knew when we were way ahead, and you could celebrate yourself.
Well, that's where accountability and camaraderie comes into place too. It's not only you knowing that you might be behind. I'm sure Candy kind of let you know when you were being accountable to her in a sense, even though she worked for you, that she would know if you're falling behind too, right?
Yeah, and since she got paid by the hour, she would also let me know, hey, hours are down, So
Yeah,
you wanted to see it up there too.
get out there, get some more books, buddy. I get it. Hey, Rill got his dog tags too. Awesome, Rill. That's about the boot camp, and so please do me a favor, Rill, and take a picture of the dog tags of yourself with the dog tags. And Rill just found out that children's books can be profitable. So, Brian, I'm sorry, you're about to say something?
Oh, real. She just posted that she's a new member with the EBS, and she sold her first book. She's here in Sacramento, by the way. So kind of funny to be in her hometown.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah, and really loved having you in the boot camp too. So awesome. And if I remember right, Rel, thank you for your service to our country too. So Tim asked, are the SOP example steps for POD available in the back office, Brian?
Well, they are for our e-commerce masters intensive members.
Okay.
Well, they've been created specifically for them so that they can then share them with their own team members.
Got it. All right, so we've talked about so far systems, camaraderie, accountability, and I'm going now to the slide that says leverage. How do you find and develop leverage to scale a business, Brian?
Well, leverage by hiring an employee to do those tasks, those repeatable tasks. That's one. Camaraderie, we already talked about that, leveraging Josie Shepard's knowledge of others. Boy, there must be a million different ways to leverage things. We did library sales. We do library sales. And so we will make friends with those friends of the library members, the people that run those. And of course, we talk to them. They give us tips. Same thing with the book processors in the Goodwill stores. We talk with them. We leverage their knowledge and their what would you say, their willingness to share more information with us. So they might even invite us into the back room, which they're not supposed to do, and we get that ability to go through the product, those books, before anybody else does.
Yep. That happened to me once. I made friends with the guy that managed the Friends of the Library sale, and I said, hey, next sale, tell you what, can I come in a day early? I'll help clean books, do whatever you want. Can I have first crack at all the books? He kind of looked at me funny, said, yeah, sure. So you just never know. And Brian, one of the things we also do, and you also taught, both you and Dr. Josie Shepard, and you don't have to wait a long time to make this happen, is the leveraging of a virtual assistant from like the Philippines. And so could you give an example of how maybe earlier, I know people look at big businesses that you and Dr. Josie have and all of that and say, wow, I don't know how I could ever get there. What might be an elementary or an early way that someone could leverage into a virtual assistant?
Those processes that you guys have to do. Let me just address those that are selling on Amazon now. You know what those processes are. You have to check your listings. You've got to check your prices. There's inventory levels, a lost inventory or inventory problems that you have to check. There's lots of trained people overseas that already do that for others, that you could simply have them do that for you as little as $2-3 an hour. And again, then you could spend your time out there sourcing where it really counts. So how do you find these people? They abound on these different websites. Fiverr is one of them. I think a lot of our members have heard of Fiverr. A lot of people have, Fiverr. A couple of other websites, Upwork, OnlineJobs.ph, FreeUp. They are directories or repositories of VAs. They're a website that VAs come to, virtual assistants, who say, I have expertise in working on people's Amazon's accounts. I have expertise finding products. I have expertise creating product designs if they're doing print on demand. And so you can post a job and interview these people and hire them, and they'll do these processes for you.
Great. Hey, Brian, that beautiful California sun, when you lean forward, sends a big white reflection in there, perfect, into the
There we go.
camera.
Lean back here.
So,
Okay.
the glow from California. All right. So, hey, let me see. If we got any other questions, guys, feel free to put them in there. Susan says, sale, systems, camaraderie, accountability, leverage. Great note taking. Let's go ahead and go on to the next slide, empowerment. And I guess where that goes in my head, Brian, if you want to address that, systems, camaraderie, training, accountability, leverage is all great and needed, but empowerment is almost like a heart and a head game. So how does someone feel empowered to make all this happen for themselves?
Yeah, I went to empowerment thinking about how I empower my employees to allow them to make good decisions. But it's got to start here first, right? It's got to start with ourselves. It's one of the reasons to be in a group, to be in a community, because we all get stuck, and then we feel like we don't know how to figure this out. We don't know what to do. You join a community, you ask questions, and you get support. That's empowering. People say, "Oh, that's really easy. I do that all the time. Here's how you fix it." Then you feel like, "Wow, I know I can really do this." That's empowerment.
Great, great. Hey, Tracy. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Susan. Hey, Shireen. Welcome, everybody. If you got questions for Brian on how to scale your business, the expert is in the house today. And Brian, one of the things that you and I worked on together that we enjoyed is a tool for that is also empowering some of our members is the roadmap. And so a lot of the principles that you talked about there, KPIs, all of that, is kind of a customized thing. Do you want to tell people a little bit about the roadmap? Now, you're not going to get the roadmap in your free membership, but if you decide to travel with us, it is available, some of our programs, so on and so forth. But we have this roadmap available. And how does I guess maybe in a generic sense, how does a actual plan help you move forward with your business?
We call it a roadmap because of the analogy of if you want to get somewhere from Sacramento to Philadelphia, wherever you want to go, you've got to have a map. You have to know where your endpoint is. You have to know the route along the way. So that's an analogy for reaching a goal in your business and mapping out a plan to get there. And it starts with the plan, and then then it goes deeper into steps. What's the first step? What's the second step? And then intermediary goals too. So what am I going to accomplish in the next 90 days? And we try to help our members focus on that short-term goal. Choose the most 3 important goals to accomplish in the next 90 days, because that moves you forward in your path towards your end goal.
And that is a great segue into the race to Minnesota, Brian. That's exactly perfect as we're starting to wind down the call. You know what? And Carol asked a question, what kind of things do you get people when they do not live near you? Carol, most of the people in e-commerce business school, because they're thousands, actually never make it to a live event. And so all that we do virtually are base courses, complimentary trainings like this, the Saturday morning lives, the Wednesday race to Minnesota that Kay Curtis is going to do. We have lots and lots and lots and lots of virtual stuff. Now, as Brian has expressed today, and that's why he's in Sacramento and other things, to get to a live event, even just one at one time, will enhance and speed up the process of your success. But we have lots of people become very successful without ever attending a live event. They eventually they'll make money and come to a live event. Raj comes to my mind. He had already had hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales doing local retail arbitrage before he came to an event, and then it just scaled from there. So anyway, Carol, lots of good stuff. Great question. So Brian, before I do the commercial at the end here, the race to Minnesota and all that, do you have anything to add here about scaling a business and or anything that you're doing in Sacramento with the intensive or anything like that before we start wrapping this up?
Scale will never happen if you don't take the first step, and it's all just a one step after another. That's what procedures are. That's how we scale.
Okay. Well, thank you for being here, Brian. I'm just going to do this commercial now. Guys, if you got questions, I'll look for questions too, Brian, as we start to wrap this up. But in fact, I might have some now before I get into that. Kathy says, I'm so excited to go to Minnesota. Awesome, Kathy. Look forward to meeting you. Okay, Marcy asks, so if you're just starting to sell on Amazon, would you look first on Fiverr or Upwork to help with your like SEO or increase reviews? Or I guess maybe she's asked, she understood what you're saying there, Brian. Do you have what would you look for if you were looking on Fiverr and Upwork, someone to help with SEO or increase numbers?
Sure. I like looking at reviews from other employers. You know, they have a process just like Amazon. Users of the product will write reviews, product reviews. Well, I want to see a review on the worker, on the virtual assistant from other employers. So I take a little time to read that. I want to see what their experience level is, if they have experience doing the type of job that I'm looking for, and then what the reviews are from other employers who have hired them to do that job. I think that's key.
Okay, great. I'll keep looking for questions. Guys, the Race to Minnesota, what's that all about? We are doing a trifecta event, and here are some tickets. In fact, some of you hold a complimentary ticket to one of the days. There's actually 3 workshops back to back, 3 days, and you'll be getting that in the mail maybe today, Monday, Tuesday. And so the Race to Minnesota, you don't have to be coming to Minnesota to participate. Every Wednesday, Kay Curtis, if you want to go back on this page and find the Saturday Morning Live from last week, Kay Curtis is running this, and she's just an incredible mindset coach. She's an experienced and successful e-commerce entrepreneur. She is going to be running the race, if you will, and there will be prizes. We're going to be giving our first prizes this Wednesday, and anybody can participate. What does matter is that you move your business forward. Like Brian said, take the first step. We'll be using the hashtag Race to Minnesota, hashtag Race, the number 2, MN. It's just a great way to make that happen, and a lot of people use this momentum to scale your business. And so, love to have you in Minnesota with us, if at all possible. If not, join us virtually. Join the race, get some prizes. We do almost always, can't promise it because of technology, live stream at least some of what happens during an event and all that. If you live in the Twin Cities area, you can come to the meet and greet on Thursday night, even if you can't make the workshops. Just start engaging more at a higher level with our community. It's July, 3 workshops. The 19th is Shop Your Way to Wealth. The 20th is Online Shopping Profit System. And 21st is Book Flipping Profit System. And so what I'm holding up here are the tickets. We want you to come to all 3 days. Many of you have earned 1 ticket credit already because of your engagement in one of the base programs. And so, yeah, come to Minnesota. But even if you can't, please, please, please enjoy the Race to Minnesota and glean from Kay's expertise, wisdom, and mindset coaching for you over the next few weeks. All right, I'm going to check the box here now, Brian, for last questions as we call it a wrap. Thank you for taking time from Sacramento to be with us. Okay, Susan affirms what you said. Look at reviews from other employers on the virtual assistant. Deborah asks, Brian, do the friends of the library know what you're doing with the books that you get from them?
Oh, yeah, they know. They know, and they really like us resellers because we buy the most books. We make them the most money.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, and Susan asked, meet and greet on Thursday night. Absolutely. Come on in. Jean asked, I missed, how much do you pay a virtual assistant, Brian?
As little as $2.50 an hour. Depends on the job. You know, the more skilled jobs, you might pay even $10 an hour. But typically for a generalist that's just doing the variety of routine jobs on Amazon, you're looking, if you hire them hourly rather than weekly, probably about $4 an hour.
And Brian, I want to address that because some people are uncomfortable with that. I've lived in the Philippines. I have Filipino friends. We are doing them such a favor and blessing by hiring them. Can you address that too? I see you're shaking your head.
Yeah. I'm have 2 full-time employees over there. They tell me they want to work for me forever, like for the rest of their lives. They're making, one is making $200 a week. He's very skilled. The other one's making $100 a week. They're supporting families with that money. It goes a long, long way over there. They're very grateful to have this work.
Absolutely, and I totally affirm that. So, okay, guys, we got some more questions coming in. If you're watching the recording, we'll keep an eye on this thread to keep it going. Oh, Susan wants to know where the trifecta is. The trifecta is in the Twin Cities. It's actually right next to the Mall of America. Okay. Awesome. Kathy's looking forward to, she's in the hustle, looking forward to some of her coaching. Jeannie says thanks. Ba, ba, ba. Okay, I think that's a wrap, Brian. We'll have an awesome time with some of our clients there with the E-commerce Masters Intensive. And in fact, a little bit of a hint, if you're listening to this and you want in, our higher level students, we're going to get together on Tuesday evening, share some more higher level mindset stuff, and invite them to an event in August, since we talked a lot about that, our ultimate business lifestyle. So if you want to know more about that, you're more than welcome to kind of peek through the window and see what we're doing and why we are inviting our higher level students to Colorado, and maybe you'd want to join us. So thanks, Brian. Have a great weekend. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today.
Thank you.